What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of the Backstage Slam Wrestling Podcast. Kevin and I here bringing it back all the way. Winter has came and so did we. This is episode number 223. What up, dog?
What up?
Man, what a 24 hours it's been.
You're telling me.
Still,
I'm still reeling off the effects of what happened last night at AEW. So
I've listened to Sting's death metal remix, WCW remix, his new AEW theme, like 50 times in a row on loop.
oh man,
It's just so good. The riff is so good.
yeah.
I like it. Before we jump into the meat and potatoes, which is we got NXT Takeover War Games this Sunday, not Saturday, Sunday. We need to talk about something very important, and that is the passing of Pat Patterson. He passed away early yesterday morning at the tender age of, 78 years old?
Yeah, something.
He is widely regarded as one of the greatest to ever lace it up in the ring. And he is also credited as the first ever WWF/WWE Intercontinental Champion, made that title synonymous. And he also launched the careers of many WWF alumnus and greats, especially those from the Attitude Era, as he ushered in the careers of Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. He gave them a little bit of tips and pointers backstage, especially The Rock, during that time when he was doing his Rocky Maivia and transitioning to turning heel with the Nation of Domination. He worked very closely with Pat Patterson, and The Rock actually came out and put out a couple of videos I saw on Instagram and pictures talking about Pat Patterson, how The Rock wouldn't have been the most electrifying man in all of sports and entertainment if it was not for Pat Patterson taking him aside and giving him a lot of pointers. And apparently he wasn't the only person that he affected. And I know for me personally, I'm gonna get you to weigh in on this. I remember Patterson and Briscoe as like Vince's brothers, like the Three Stooges.
Yeah, the Stooges. Yeah.
And I always liked it. I always loved them when they're on screen together, and I actually kind of missed them. But going back into the history of when he was actually wrestling, he wrestled for Big Time Wrestling, Pacific Northwest, different smaller organizations all around Florida, American Wrestling Association. He even wrestled in New Japan in 1979. And he started his WWF WWE career in 1979 after his tour in Japan.
Mm.
And he was also the first openly gay wrestler in WWE. So yeah, like what a pioneer, what a legend. He will be missed. Well, what's your memories of him?
Well, the earliest memories I have of him is the Attitude Era, where he was, Vince McMahon's stooge with. I can't remember his name. You just said it, and I forgot about it.
Briscoe,
Gerald Briscoe. Yeah.
By the way, Patterson, Briscoe, and Vince, they're all around the same age. They're all within four years of each other.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
but they were always, but even then, like their on-screen chemistry is just like perfection.
Yeah. Like Meltzer put it this way, like this this is going to definitely affect Vince, and we're gonna see how he takes it, because it's literally like he lost a twin.
Yeah, isn't he Stephanie's godfather?
Yeah, I think he's a godfather to plenty people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Like on screen, I know. Like during a segment on live, like on Raw, he was yelling at. I think it was the abduction of Stephanie
Mm,
with the whole ministry.
yeah.
Like Patterson, like laced in and on Vince, like that's my goddaughter. Like where is she? You need to find her. I was like, oh, okay, getting some real life backstage stuff going on. But yeah, I mean, he was a pioneer. I mean, from being the first intercontinental champion to did he also create the Royal Rumble?
I think
What I
so.
read. Yeah. So, I mean that those two things alone, you know, and are like monumental in the sport of professional wrestling or sports entertainment, especially in the WWE. You know, Royal Rumble is now one of the big four
Hmm.
pay-per-views.
Oh, 5 now, I guess. They had to dump Money in the Bank down our throats as the big 5. Oh.
Let's that no. Let's just keep the big four. There's no big five. No, no. The Money in the Bank is whatever. It's big four: Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. Keep it simple.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, and him being the first openly gay superstar in WWE. I mean, he's monumental in pretty much everyone's career. I mean, just like Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
He helped so many. I mean, him and Dusty are monumental in everyone's career, from NXT to all the legends in the Hall of Fame now, to aspiring superstars and in the future. You know.
Yeah.
So.
I remember some of the greatest comedy bits came from Patterson and Briscoe, especially when it has anything to do with uh Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, those are the days. Or whenever they interacted with Austin or super babyface Mankind,
Yeah.
there's always a classic. Or the one time they a long time ago where they tried to ask Gangrel to bite them on the neck so that they could join the Brood. That was so funny. And that was it. In fact, back then, I didn't know Patterson was gay until like, let me see, like the root, like right before WWE went to PG in 2009.
Yeah.
Like it was way later, and looking back, like there was a lot of hints. Like
Yeah.
they even scripted it like to insinuate like Patterson was into guys, and Jerry Lawler and JR both were cracking lines like like he was Patterson was together with a male partner for over 40 years. He passed away in 98 or 99. And during a
Mhm.
pay-per-view, JR said, "Hey fellas, he's single." And that totally went over everybody's head,
Yeah.
but when you think about it in retrospect and looking at all these clips on YouTube, and everybody's just looking at, Patterson and Briscoe content on YouTube, it's all there. It's just like,
Yeah.
wow, how could I have missed all this stuff?
I mean, you're caught up in the moment, and that's one of the things that you just
We didn't
don't.
care and appreciate them as much as we do now.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well, we were younger then, so
yeah. Everything was
it's
like crotch chops DX. Break it down, um,
raising eyebrows, smelling what the Rock is cooking.
yeah. All right, so we got a pay-per-view. Um WWE almost pulled a big botch. I had the opportunity to listen in on the Triple H press call this morning, and WWE had to move back Tribute to the Troops that's airing on Fox a whole hour because originally it was going to start at the same time as NXT War Games.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so now I think they're airing. I think they are airing it at 6 p.m. Eastern time on Fox. WWE Tribute to the Troops on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's now going to be the lead into the War Games on pay per view on the network. So we got that. Um, before we talk about this, this 5 card pay per view, there is some problems with NXT, and I know it's made a lot worse because of the pandemic. Like everything is down because of the pandemic. But I noticed that the last 3 takeovers since, I guess the pandemic started, I noticed that they've fallen into the WWE main roster rut, which is they don't have NXT hasn't built their takeover pay-per-view cards until like the final week of the pay-per-view. So this
Mm-hmm.
past like last night, they had 3 matches, and then a fourth match that was incomplete, and then that was it. So last night they added a 5th match, and they added a final participant to the the female War Games match. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like that they do that. I think they should go back to how they've been doing it before the pandemic. Is they got their cards ready and all laid out, and they spend the last 2 weeks build up the hype to the pay per view, and they just got away
Mm-hmm.
from that somehow. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, my logic for that would be maybe they're doing that because what if someone if they laid out their cards on the table 2 3 weeks before the pay per view and someone catches COVID, then they have to scramble to replace them.
Hmm.
So I think maybe that's why they hold off until they know for sure that they can get certain superstars for said pay per view. So maybe that's why they waited till like last night to reveal the final participant in the War Games match, or to finally add more matches to it
It's a
to
good
make sure
point.
that they're gonna they're gonna be there and they're gonna be healthy for it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because what I was thinking was maybe it has something to do with all of the bad string of injuries. Like they would always have one massive injury a month since April, Kevin. It's nuts. Like what is it? Pat McAfee's Kings of NXT stable. 2 of
Mm.
them are replacements, members of the original members, because they both, suffered injuries that's going to keep them out of the game for like 9 months. It's nuts. It's just
Jeez.
terrible, you know. For all intents and purposes, though, a lot of people believe that Karrion Kross is about 70% healthy, already back in doing what do you call that? Physical therapy. Physical
Yeah.
therapy is usually 60 days prior to getting back in the ring. We might see
Mm-hmm.
this guy in the Rumble.
Yeah. I've seen his Instagram stories, and for someone that doesn't have any ligaments in his shoulder, man, he can still deadlift a lot of
He
weight.
deadlift for 400 pounds, I saw. It's like, oh, okay.
Yep.
He's definitely coming
Not
up
only,
to the main roster. He doesn't need the NXT title.
not only that, he held it he held the weight for a good 5 seconds.
Give me Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Do it. Do it.
Selfish me wants a crowd there, like a sold out crowd.
They plan 8,000 in the football stadium. That's what the Meltzer reported. They are planning 8,000 spaced out tickets at Raymond James Stadium. So, well, we'll see. Okay, so the newest match added from last night, Timothy Thatcher, who I'm starting to get behind, versus Tommaso Ciampa. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Timothy Thatcher. I've seen him wrestle here in Phoenix. He can throw down. He's legit, and so I'm thinking upset. I think he's gonna pull the upset over Tommaso Ciampa.
Same. The next two guys I've also put in the same category. I think these three will have breakout years in 2021. Dexter Lumis versus Cameron Grimes. I'm going to go with Dexter Lumis. I think he's kind of like a small man monster with his serial killer gimmick, which I don't know how it's getting over in WWE.
Yeah, stranger things have happened, Ben. But yeah, I'm going to go with Dexter Lumis on this one too.
All right, triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship. Leon Ruff defending against Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest. I am torn on this, but I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go with Johnny Wrestling.
I want to say Damian Priest because he's going to try and help. He's going to try and help him retain. But I don't know, like, my brain is going in so many directions. Like, Damian Priest helps him to retain just so Johnny Gargano doesn't win it back. But then I want him to win and turn on, just be selfish and get the title back that he shouldn't have lost. So I'm going to go with Damian Priest on this.
Okay. War Games match for the men's Undisputed Era versus the Kings of NXT. I got Undisputed Era winning this in what would be the match of the night.
There is no question in my mind who I'm voting for. I'm going Adam Cole, baby. Undisputed Era. I will never go against Adam Cole.
All right. Ladies match, we got Team Candice versus Team Shotzi. For the first time ever, the babyface team has the advantage in the War Games match. Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai taking on Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Toni Storm. I'm going to go with Team Candice. After her husband wins back the North American Championship, she will pin NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai, which will give her an automatic bid to get to get another chance at the title, where Candice LeRae will take the title off of Io Shirai, and then we'll have the Garganos champion couple, finally.
That is real interesting. I could see that actually happening. But me, I'm going to go Team Shotzi.
Okay. So there is a bit of a rumor that Pat McAfee might not even compete in the match, that he might have a replacement. There's a rumor. And And that rumor is that he may have someone else wrestle the match for him. So let's entertain that idea. Who do you think it might be?
Well, I mean, what do they have planned for Karrion Cross? I mean, that's one option. Would he fit in that stable?
I think he's alone. The gimmick and everything. It just screams lone wolf. I don't need nobody.
I mean, and he's got Scarlett, so
Mm. Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there. Just spitballing.
okay.
Davy Boy Smith Jr.
You think they'll? You think he'll come? You think it'll be a one and done kind of thing? Because I know he's like MLW.
Maybe. I know he has a problem with the main roster, but he has a lot of friends in NXT right now.
I mean, it could be a Vince thing too. I mean, he might warm up to Triple H, Sean.
I still want him to reunite with Archer and continue Killer Elite Squad in AEW, but yeah.
I mean, why did they split in New Japan?
Oh, he got hurt. Davey Boy Smith got hurt.
Oh, so they wrote him off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Man, if they came back to
and
Suzuki
Cody
Gun,
Hall got hurt before that. Cody Hall was in that 3-man stable with Chaos with them. Remember? Scott Hall's son.
wasn't he in Bullet Club too?
Yeah, I think he betrayed. He betrayed one of them. I think. Let me see. You know why I think Team Candice is going to win? I think Rhea Ripley's going to turn heel.
You think her babyface run has come to an end?
Yeah.
Apparently my girlfriend approves of it.
I think she's going to turn heel. She's going to feud with either Shotzi
or
Ember. And then when Candice beats Io Shirai for the title, Candice is probably going to have issues with Raquel Gonzalez and Toni Storm and Dakota Kai at the same time, all her teammates. So they're probably going to do a fatal 4-way. Candice is going to escape. And then Toni is going to win a one-on-one opportunity and take the belt off of Candice. And then they're going to ride with Toni Storm, who will probably turn babyface, and they'll be. I want to see Toni versus Rhea Ripley, WrestleMania weekend.
It's like NXT UK all over again.
Except they brought up to the main branch.
Yeah.
Deservedly so. I kind of wish they did that for Killer Kelly, but they let her go.
Yeah.
I want Killer Kelly in AEW. Anyway.
Well, we can only hope for the best in 2021.
Yeah. So I'm not really looking forward to this NXT, mainly because this is the 33rd NXT takeover. Has there been any other NXT takeovers where the NXT championship was not on the card?
I think every NXT championship, every takeover had the NXT title on the line.
This one doesn't. I don't know. Is Balor
right?
hurt?
Well, he suffered that broken jaw. Are you still covered from that?
Oh, yeah. Fractured jaw. Okay.
Yeah, because that was his last title defense against Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
I don't know. He might make an appearance. And oh shit, could he be the one to fight for McAfee?
Maybe. Never thought of that. Just until right when you said
Now
that, I was like, oh,
that changes the entire dynamic now.
yeah. The title's still not aligned, but at least the NXT champion is wrestling in the match. Oh
Yeah.
man.
I mean, that could happen.
Selfishly, I'm also hoping that this is the Undisputed Era swan song in WWE for selfish reasons. You already know why.
Don't say that.
You already know why.
No.
You already know why.
No. It breaks my heart. I don't want it.
Well, what if they end up all together in a different place, just called something different?
Maybe. But
what if...
I've already poured in so much money on their merchandise.
Okay, let's get to the fun section, the last section of today's show. AEW last night. You called me right after you and your girlfriend watched it.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel overall? Because for me, I felt like it was 1999. I felt like I was a freshman at JCHS all over again.
I'm like, what is going on? What is happening? Where are we? What year is it?
So, Sting is back on TNT in a wrestling ring on the network for the first time in 19 years.
Yep.
We have a brand new AEW World Champion who took the title and is going to be showing up in a different promotion. Oh boy, what a treat.
Man.
So, quick news here. Let's see. So, AEW did better than I thought it was going to be. I think I remember a couple of days ago I told you that I think that they're going to pull somewhere around 850K.
Yeah.
And NXT was going to do 730.
Yeah.
So I said AEW is going to retake the victory after losing by 2,000 last week. But I didn't count on Sting showing up. So I was
nobody counted on Sting showing up.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, it has to have done more than 850K. I don't know if it's going to be 1 million.
Yeah.
I think next week's definitely going to have 1 million.
Yeah.
Because Sting's going to talk. And everybody wants to see what, the situation with Kenny and Callis and Impact and all that. So I'm expecting at least 1 million next week. Last night, NXT averaged 658K. AEW averaged 913,000. At peaked at 1.4 million right at the tail end of Sting. Then they all went back to NXT, and then came back and then they all came back at the end of the Moxley match. But the average is 913,000. So big victory. Almost 300,000 more than NXT. They certainly did 63,000 more average viewers than I thought they were going to do. All because of Sting. Oh boy.
The power that man has, man.
I've the show came on late over here as always because it's delayed, right? Mm-hmm. I walked out to go put my tea in the microwave in the kitchen, and I hear my pops go, "Boy," go, "Yeah." He goes, "Sting is back in wrestling." And in my head, I was like, "See, my dad's 65, and now he watch AEW." Oh man, so They're gonna start stealing the market share of the plus 50 demographic. Oh
Yeah.
man, that's amazing. Now let's talk. So we're getting. What do you think we're getting? I think we're getting a talent share. I don't think a lot of people are hoping for a merger. I don't think we're getting a merger. I think we're getting a talent share, and I think we're gonna get an annual AEW versus Impact at some type of pay-per-view supercard annually per year, and then this is the storyline that builds to that first event in 2021. But I think we're going to have a talent share.
Yeah, I can see that happening. It's kind of like what WWE tried to do with WCW back in 2001, where they had two different shows, but they were stupid to have it on the same night.
Yeah.
So
they also couldn't sign 60%, have 60% of WCW's roster and TV until their contract was over. So a lot of them sat out for a year and a half with, $1 or $2 million salary.
Well, it was guaranteed because they didn't have to work. So
that's why we never got the NWO angle until WrestleMania 17 when they could have done it at 16.
No, it's 18.
18.
Yeah.
So
because they came out at No Way Out, so we had to wait till February of 2002 to get the NWO. So we waited like almost an entire year after the sale, of WCW to get the NWO. But by that time, the whole angle of the invasion had already blown over.
At what point when you say, WrestleMania XX number, at what WrestleMania did you start to feel old, considering that we were born on the same year as WrestleMania?
Oh, jeez.
For me, it was 32. Came to the realization, like, oh my god, I'm the same age as WrestleMania. This is,
Like, I realized that we were the same age as WrestleMania, but then, like, I think now, like, 30, like 33, 34, 35, like the last 3-4 years has been like, this is good. Like, I'm getting old. And when I think back of like the first WrestleMania that I saw was WrestleMania 5.
Yeah.
And I go to watch it, I'm like, man, this is way different from what I remember. And then I go watch WrestleMania 10 and 12 and 14, X7, X8, 19, 20. Yeah. It's like, oh, wow, like times have changed a lot, and it makes me feel super old.
It's like later on down the line, it's like, hey, how old are you? And then you have to think, and then you're like, oh, what was this year's WrestleMania? Oh, I'm 50.
Exactly. Like, how old are you? I'm like, I'm the same age as WrestleMania, and that is. Hold on, let me think. Yeah, let's see where that's it. Oh yeah, I'm 36.
Man. Let's see. So, I don't expect this to be like a super long-term feud between AEW. It's kayfabe. It's a working relationship, but I'm very curious. Is this... I was thinking about it real hard, and I'm like, the best bout machine, Kenny Omega, 7-star, best wrestler in the world. Finally, after a year and a half since he left New Japan, he's the AEW champion. But how can he solidify that? Well, what if they put the Impact title and he becomes double champion? Or triple champion if he's still the AAA champion at the end of next month? What if he's holding 3 crowns? What if he also wins the NWA title? Multiple champion. He's built up as a monster. you know.
That's a lot to put on one man.
Well,
But then
TNA did
again,
it with Lashley. You remember? Not too long ago.
yeah.
They put all the. I don't know if they put the women's title on Lashley too, but I vaguely remember Lashley having like 5 titles.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Ever since Scott D'Amore and Don Callis took over, Impact has been doing very well. Very, very well. Impact is not the Impact? You know,
Yeah.
it's not that Impact anymore. Where, you know, Anthem botched everything. You know?
Yeah.
I remember, what was it, 6-7 years ago? Jeff Jarrett was going to fuse Global Force Wrestling with Impact, and then, you know, his sobriety issues kicked in, and then nothing started to work, and that just kind of ended.
That died like a horrible death.
It's so much bad luck, but, you know, I guess they keep getting extra lives. And D'Amore, Callis deserve all the credit in the world. The X division is strong. The women's division is the second only to NXT's. So I think if this talent share that they're going to do long-term wise, it'll only help. Okay, I think Impact is going to get the most benefit out of this deal. But I think AEW is the one that's holding all the cards because they got the biggest TV contract. They can give people exposure. They can promote the smaller brands. And they need help in their women's division. They need the likes of Taya Valkyrie. They need Su Yung on their TV. You know, I want, you know,
Jessica Havoc.
Jessica Havoc.
Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah.
Jordan Grace.
Yeah. You know, they need him. Even if they show up on Dark. Good.
Yeah,
bring
because all those women are powerhouse women, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they can rip apart Sheeta.
Ethan Page's contract is up in 34 days. You know, is he going to stay with Impact, or is he going to be with AEW but still interact with Impact with this new partnership going forward? Oh, here's a question. I don't think Anthem's going to sell Impact to Tony Khan. But I think Billy Corgan might sell NWA to Tony Khan. Do you think that the AEW and the NWA championship will eventually merge? Its entire history will become AEW's history? Because if you look at this, NWA, Impact Wrestling, they're all legacy, WCW legacy. NWA became WCW.
Yeah.
And TNA/Impact came from the remnants of WCW and ECW. So yes. AEW is basically bringing the lifeblood of the remnants of the old World Championship Wrestling together. And on top of that, they have AAA. They have the Mexican connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going to have to wait till after Wrestle Kingdom in January. I think we're going to get New Japan. And the only one that's left up in the air is Ring of Honor, out in the cold.
Well, Ring of Honor has always had a good working relationship with New Japan.
Yeah.
Because they've had the ROH world title defended at Wrestle Kingdom a number of times.
It kind of went wayside last year, though. If you remember the big show in the summer when Enzo and Cass and ended up causing a disruption.
Yeah, I never understood that spot.
And then, he threw a shoot punch at Bully Ray.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess working relationship between management of both of those decided to get sour. And I know Harold Mage, I know he was being a little brat about it, but he's gone now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Dave Lagana, who was at Impact, he's gone now. He was the problem guy at Impact. Got took over by Damore and Callis. So I'm thinking key figures in certain organizations are no longer there, and it's a wonder. Okay, now we see organizations coming together and working together.
Yeah.
You can
I
see.
mean, they'll have a common enemy.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I want to be honest with you. I think WWE is so big and so long standing. No one's gonna topple them. No one in WWE is not in danger of going away. It's just a matter
Yeah.
of how long is it
Competing.
gonna take for another entity to reach that same level.
Yeah. So it's almost like combining everyone's resources.
Yeah.
Make one powerhouse product.
Okay. So I'm not saying it's gonna be a constant war between AEW and Impact guys back and forth every week. No, let's just do it seasonal. Let's do a 2 to 3 month build up. Have that super card matchup like New Japan, Ring of Honor, War of the Worlds, or whatever, but on a grander scale.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And then for the next 9 months, we'll pepper in a couple of talent share appearances. We get a couple of Impact guys on Dynamite and on Dark, a couple of mid card AEW guys showing up on Impact TV, little by little. Build a storyline throughout those 9 months, and then bam, 3 months leading up to that versus pay-per-view second year. That's when you ramp up the story. Boom, pull in the invite. Oh my God, it's AEW. They're in the Impact Zone. Everybody's we gotta get the hell out of here. And then here we go. It's off to the races again. Do that, and then I don't know. Like, oh my God, is that Los Ingobernables? What are they doing here? Okay, wishful thinking. Yeah.
But well, with everything that's going down right now, I mean, like we talked last night, everyone that was a member of the Bullet Club has a championship.
Yeah.
Whether it be an AEW or an Impact.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
So,
I think.
Could we see like a cross promotional faction born because of it?
Mm-hmm. I definitely think so, but it's not going to be long term though. I think it's going to be for a couple of months where they build up to like a big versus pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And then they'll go back to their separate ways, but have that working relationship where every now and then you'll have somebody on the mid card show up on Dark or Dynamite and Impact. Who knows? We might have Dustin Rhodes wrestle in Impact for a match, or Butcher and Blade versus a tag team from Impact on Impact.
Yeah.
Taya Valkyrie challenging Serena Deeb for the NWA Women's Championship on Dynamite. Why not? Every now and then. Not every week. Maybe every couple of weeks. For the majority of the time until it's time to ramp up. Oh, we're 3 months out for, whatever the name the pay-per-view is.
Yeah.
All right. Any lasting thoughts or anything you want to add to that? Tinfoil hat theories.
There's just a lot happening right now, and it's an exciting time to be watching, and 2020 has been a freaking crazy year as it is. So with everything that's going down, it's like you can't help but want to know what happens next. So, like the upcoming weeks up until, because we got Wrestle Kingdom coming up in January, and then next week we have Sting speaking to the masses. So we're all just on pins and needles, wondering what's going to happen next.
Pins and needles in a good way, not a bad way.
Yeah. we still have feeling. We still have feeling in our limbs, But it's just nerve wracking.
I get a lot of people are saying, like, "Oh my God, what if Kenny?" There's a lot of people that's taking the kayfabe work, like, "Oh my God, Kenny's a jerk. How could he do that? He's a vice president, and he ditched him for Impact. What the hell? Tony, fire him." Blah. I was like, "Oh, these people got worked hard." I guess that's a good thing, maybe. I don't know, man. But look,
hey, man, it's still real to us.
Look, history shows that if there's a wrestling war, it's usually the one with the entity with the biggest money that comes out the winner. Always. So we know AEW is going to win the battle. It's just the journey. And currently, the main man in AEW looks like he's fighting for the other team right now. And it's reminding me of Austin joining the Invasion, the WCW ECW group, with the WWE Championship.
The Alliance.
What a parallel of the Alliance.
Yep.
Oh, with that said, thank you for joining us for these wonderful 45 minutes. You guys can follow us on Twitter at KevinMask808, at SkitComic, at BroCulturePop. And if you guys want to support the podcast, you guys can subscribe to us monthly on Patreon for $3, $5, $10, and $3, $5, $10, and $20 a month. And more exclusive content is coming. I will be doing a lot of K-pop reaction videos coming up soon. I'm just waiting for a couple of things to put up behind me in my room, like a green screen or something, and better lighting. And we'll be good to go with that. And some video game streams on Twitch coming up too. So with that said, we will see you guys next week. We're going to be talking, we're going to be reviewing NXT TakeOver, talking about what's up next for New Japan Pro Wrestling and what happened on Impact and Dynamite. We'll see you guys either next Thursday or next Friday. Too sweet, everybody.
Latest.
Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Ben here. What you guys just listened to was the recorded version of the podcast that came out on Thursday night. And after thinking about it for a while, for the time being, I am going to put the Backstage Slam Wrestling podcast on hiatus, at least until Joshua comes back. I don't feel comfortable continuing on with the Backstage Slam Wrestling podcast without Joshua, because I started the podcast with him. So out of respect for Josh and the 3.5-year history that we've had doing this podcast, until Josh is ready to come back to podcasts and talk about pro wrestling, we're going to put the Backstage Slam Wrestling podcast on hold. But you guys can go ahead and follow Josh at SkitComic on Twitter, and continue following all Semi-Core Studios Productions podcasts. You guys got the Wadcast, I think, every Friday. You also got a brand new podcast on Monday from Semi-Core, from Joshua. And whenever Joshua is ready to come back and talk about pro wrestling, the Backstage Slam will return. So the question is, well, what are you going to be doing, Ben? Well, I am going to finally be finished with my rebrand. We're going to be rebranding as Culture Pop, or Bro Culture Pop. And I'm going to be doing basically everything that I've been doing separately over the last 7.5 years of my content will finally be under one banner. You know, before I had like 6 different Twitch names. I kept changing my YouTube channel name. I kept changing, you know, everything. So from now on, we're just going to be talking about Bro Culture Pop. Bro, meaning me, the host. Culture Pop is just basically talking about pop culture, but culture with a K instead of a C. And, you know, we're going to be doing more. Like I said, we're going to be doing more than one wrestling podcast. And Kevin and I will continue, but we will be continuing with a brand new wrestling podcast. As well as K-pop reviews, K-drama reviews, a lot more Korean content. And we will be doing kaiju movie reviews. We're going to be going all the way back to the Godzilla 1954 original release. And when Godzilla vs. Kong comes out, we will be doing that next May when that drops. And we'll be doing way more stuff. Marvel Cinematic Universe, DC Cinematic Universe, the Reboot Universe, nerd culture, pop culture, wrestling, everything that is hip, hippity hop, hip hop bang. Be on the look for that. So follow me on Twitter at Bro Culture Pop. Yes, I even changed that too. My YouTube channel is still YoBro MMO. The Patreon is still YoBro MMO. But until everything else is settled, including the brand new website, stay tuned. And I will let you guys know. New wrestling podcast coming out next week, Friday. Till then, see you guys later. Too sweet.